Hi guys, and welcome to the Batch Lady, where I show you how to make fast, simple, homemade meals that you can make in advance, put in your freezer and use whenever you want. Now today I want to talk to you about glass dishes, because I have had tons of you write in and ask about what size to use. You know, you go to the supermarket like I do and you look at these lovely glass dishes and they never tell you what the portion is. All they tell you is the size, the tape measure size. Okay, so and they never tell you anything else. So I have measured every single one that I think that you might buy to tell you exactly what size I would get. It will require you maybe taking a tape measure with you, but it should tell you the measurement sizes on it in centimeters, okay? So you have all different sizes. Now what I love about these glass dishes, and I use them lots and lots, is they are great. They go literally from freezer to fridge, depending on the brand, which I'll get to in a minute. All you do is, you know, fill it up, and then you just have this great big plastic lid that goes on the top. When it goes in the freezer, take it out, and then it's going in the it's going in the oven just like that, okay? And it's glass, so it's something that's quite nice to serve in. You know, it's not, it doesn't look like you're serving it out of a tray that's been in the freezer. It's a nice glass dish. If you're doing lasagna or moussaka or anything, you can see all the different layers. So I have used these for years and years and years, and they work perfectly. Okay, now you get a range of them, ranging from sort of, this one is a Pyrex one, this one is a Cuisine, there's IKEA ones. What ones are these? I think they're Pyrex again. You get a huge range, okay? I would say they're all pretty much a muchness. Good top tips of what I'm looking for before we get onto the sizes is I like ones that have quite straight up and down edges. You see this one here has a big lip on it and it sort of goes out a little bit. I'm not that keen on that because you can't stack as much in. Where if they're very straight up and down edges, then you can fit a lot more on your freezer, in your freezer shelves or in your freezer drawers, because they're not got that sort of empty space that's not being used here. So if I was you, I would always look out for that. You don't want to use a huge big one and only half fill it, because you then have that space in the middle that is freezer, that you're going to get freezer burn. So much better to fill it almost to full and then put your lid on. So try to use a size that actually suits the dish that you're using. Right, so sizes. We're going to start with this big one. Okay, this big one is 23 centimeters by 28 centimeters. It's quite a big one. I don't use this that often because it serves 8. So we're going to talk lasagnas, okay? Because it's that type of thing that you're going to put in it. So imagine something like a lasagna, moussaka, enchiladas, you know, anything that you're putting on it in a dish like this for the freezer. So I would say this serves about 6 to 8, because it's deep as well. So it is 10 centimeters deep, okay? So that's quite a big one. Again, wouldn't use it a great deal. Now the size that I use all the time that will be of interest to you guys is this one, okay? This size is 20 centimeters by 25 centimeters. I would say it feeds a large portion for 4 or a small portion for 6, okay? So 4, 5 and a small 6, depending on what you want. They're never just going to be a 4. If I was designing them myself, I would love to do one that I knew was an exact 4. It's probably more a squarer type version. Okay, so this one, 20 centimeters by 25 centimeters, 8.5 centimeters deep, and this is your bog standard use all the time one. If you're making my family meals for 4, this is the one that you want. 20 centimeters by 25. This one has got another really good lid. I'm going to come on to lids as soon as I've just finished with the sizes. If you are cooking for 2 to 3, then you're going down to this sort of one. 17 centimeters by 24, the same sort of design. It serves a very large 2 and a normal size 3. So I'd say that's about a 3. And then you also get to your 2 size, which is very small. I mean, it's 14 centimeters by 19, but it's quite shallow in depth. If you're making a lasagna for 2, this works, but you are going to get a thin one, okay? So it just depends. It's unfortunate it's slightly a smaller one, but you're going to end up trying to get your layers is quite tricky, okay? I would tend to use the 2 to 3 one if you're going to do for a 2-person, and you'd have a bit left over for a lunch, rather than trying to work out how you manage to get the lid on this one. And then you get these diddy little ones, and you get these in like Home Bargains, Home Basics, B&M stores, really quite cheap, quite handy. I don't know what I'd use this tiny little one for. All I would say is it probably would serve an exact 1 person, 1 portion. So maybe if I was feeding some oldie relatives and it was just 1 person, I wanted to make up lots of different ones, that would be quite a nice Christmas present if I gave you 10 little individual meals, so you could do that. So that's all your different sizes. Let's get to brands, okay? So you get all different brands. What you need to watch out for is a lot of them don't go straight from the freezer into the oven, okay? They'll generally tell you when you buy them in the packaging. There's a few that do. The best ones that you can buy, obviously, are usually the most expensive ones, but Pyrex are the best ones, I would say, just because they do a freezer to oven range. And that's the one to look out for, so you don't need to worry about glass shattering or anything. So if you've got a fish pie, you want to cook it from frozen, or a lasagna, you just take the lid off and throw it straight in. So if you want to buy the best ones, I would say you want to go to anywhere that does Pyrex. And sometimes you can get a good deal on them. So a lot of you have written in to say, oh, there's a deal on Pyrex, and I'm going to start posting them more if there is one. Groupon seem to be doing something, so that's very good. Ones not to use, and I usually always like to say that IKEA is quite good, and I'm going to show you why. This one's going to work exactly the same. These are from IKEA and they're not brilliant, okay? I wouldn't buy them. I bought quite a few of them because they were good sizes. I thought the lids were quite good. They're these little snap-on lids as opposed to just a flatter lid. The snap-on doesn't always work, and then when you've had them in the cupboard like this for a bit, when you pull them open, as I've just done there, this has been in the cupboard for a bit, the seal comes off, okay? Now you can put the seal back on it, you just wrap it back around, but what I've found in the past is sometimes the seal splits and half of it is still stuck to this, okay? I'm not overly fond of these, so I would say get yourself a few big Pyrex ones, or a few of the cheaper ones if you're going to defrost and then put them into the oven. Again, you'll have them for years. It's money well spent. Just make sure that you buy the right size, and I would say if you're making a family of 4 to 5, then you're on a 20 to 25, and I would get the slightly smaller one of 17 to 22 if you're a 2 to 3 person, okay? Hope that helps. Take care, have a good day, bye.